He's gone mad. Oh, shoulders, Shavasana. Yes, I think we're overdue for a little bit longer Shavasana. We spent the last few times doing a little bit more talking because I know that we're starting out, right? So I will say this. Please read Donna Farhi's 7 Yogic Moving Principles, which is in your Canvas course shell right now. And they are breathe. Yes. I remember them by saying be scary, much to my yoga teacher's chagrin. So breathe, engage, which is what we did the very last week. So that's like bringing all the pieces together. The book, I don't remember the name of the book actually. Donna Farhi is the person, but I wrote out a summary of the 7 moving principles on a page within Canvas, so you don't need the whole book. So breathe, engage. S is for support, which is like pushing down into the ground. C is for centering, pulling inwards towards our core. A is for align. So last week we started with breathe and align, trying to keep our breath going slowly in and out the whole time. And alignment being things like making sure your knees and toes are pointing the same direction. When we're doing arm balancing, making sure we're pulling those elbows in against our body, etc., etc. And then R is for radiate, which is the theme of this week. So the idea about radiating is to expand outward from your body as much as possible. So think be big, yeah? And actually in modern dance, in Horton teacher training, or in Horton dance training, which is the style that Alvin Ailey dancers do, they call it attenuation, which is when you're thinking about 2 points being pulled apart, and this kind of makes the middle more narrow as it draws out. So if you imagine like pulling taffy or sending 2 opposite directions of your body in 2 different places, it really helps you with balance. Yeah, so radiate. Also, I like to think about Care Bears doing the Care Bear stare, so I included a nice Care Bear stare gif in your reading. And then yield, which we'll do in a couple weeks, and that's about relaxing parts of your body that you might be holding tension in unnecessarily, like places where we're squeezing and contracting, even though we're not really needing to use those muscles. So that's be scary. So those are the 7 yogic moving principles, and they work for kind of any exercise or practice that you're doing, just in a way to like approach different movement with an emphasis or focus. Yeah, so today we're going to continue with this idea of being big, and then we also think about what our body theme is, and this week our body theme is neck and shoulders. So we will do a shoulder release today, a neck and shoulder release. So I will give myself a little note to make sure that we get down on the floor a little faster than we did yesterday. Sound good? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll get started on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, baby, say you love me. All right, so here we are, starting of our yoga class, week B, workout B, and the emphasis is on radiate and neck and shoulder release. So we're going to start like usual on the ground. Ooh, I want to hear this song, but I'm not ready for it yet. There we go. There's a nice start. Okay, friends. My assistant teacher has brought me some gifts today. Hello, Biscotti. Thank you for the sock.
Well deserved.
Quiet time, buddy. Sitting in a place that's comfortable. Allow your breath to slow down. Allow yourself to make a little break between the rest of your day and your practice, giving yourself permission to let everything else drift out of mind without having to hold on or try to remember anything coming up. Just going to find a transition of slowness. Letting your breath get bigger and really spreading out the rib cage as you breathe in as deeply as you can and pushing all the air out on your exhale. Empty your breath completely. One more cycle in and out. If you're ready, add in those arms. Breathing in through the nose. Radiating those fingertips as far away from your body as you can as you reach up and exhale completely. Letting your eyes open again. And roll down to the front. Big deep breaths. Letting your lower back open. Hips heavy on the ground, head heavy. On your next inhale, we're going to draw the belly in and the shoulders back and reach out to come up. Exhale, reaching up and out, making the longest distance from your fingertips away from that hip. Inhaling up and exhaling to the other side. Go ahead and rotate your chest up to the sky, opening your left arm back. And let that arm fall back behind you. And come back to face directly to the side. So my hand is by my hip and my shoulders are rolled back. I'm going to come up part way with the head. And then I'm going to slowly roll my right ear down to my right shoulder. Just letting the stretch happen in the neck. Most of us tend to chin poke and slouch forward here, so I invite you to draw your chin in so you feel just a little bit of extra skin smushing together underneath your neck. And really let the ear fall towards the shoulder. Find your breath. And slide down. Roll it around to the center. hug biscotti. And reach out to come up. Reach over straight to the left side. Imagine that there's a wall behind you so our shoulders are not twisted. Shoulders and hips aligned. And we're going to open that right arm up and rotate the heart now towards the ceiling or the sky. And find your breath. Spreading out all those little intercostal muscles between the ribs. And drop your arm back behind you. Let that right hand come to the right hip. Lift up just a little bit so we're nice and squared again. Shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip on the same vertical plane. And we're going to drop the left ear straight over to the left shoulder. Keeping that right shoulder back. Slight tuck in the chin so you feel a little bit of the skin bunch up. And then try and let your neck get long. Big deep breaths. And let your arm come up and take you over and around and down. Dropping your head in the middle. Coming on up. Bringing those shoulders down, elbows back behind you. We're going to press our palms to the floor and spread your chest up. Let your shoulders rise up to your ears and rest your neck on your head, on your shoulders for a moment. Big breath in, stretch those ribs open to the sky. Bring the chin to your throat. Press up through the hips if you like. And drop the hips down. Big breath in. We're going to exhale and curve our body. Slide the whole legs out nice and long and slide all the way down to the earth. Spread long and tall. And swoop it up. So I'm lifting my shoulders. My belly button's going to go down in the center. I'm going to bend my knees together and roll up. Move a little bit so I have some more room. Back down I go. Spread it all the way long. Long like you're waking up in the morning. We're going to stretch our left side and right side. And again, arms come down. Belly button and lower back to the floor. Knees bend to come up. And a bent leg west stretch. So just a forward fold here with bent legs. You can walk that dog. You can walk your forward fold stretch. Wipe down those legs. Spreading your circulation around. And come on up. And halfway down. Let your lower back touch the floor. And knees come up, toes come up, holding your shoulders and chest up. Hands behind your legs, rock up. Good, good. Other side, foot to easy pose. Big breath. We're going to exhale and spiral to the left. We're going to keep moving for a little while. So inhale, back up. Center, shoulders stay down. And out. See how big you can reach the arc of your fingertips. And go ahead and move with your own breath here. You don't need to be perfectly in sync with me. Remember, this is your practice. Go ahead and let your hands come down to the floor the next time you get to the left. And press the floor to really deeply spiral that spine. Shoulders back. Spine radiates straight up in the air. So make sure we're not leaned back and slouching back. You're going to get up on those sits bones and spiral every single vertebrae from your tailbone to your skull. Pulling the back shoulder down, let the arm come up. Then reach over the top. This is your left arm over your right knee. Release the head if you can. And come on up. Shoulders down, exhale. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. Fingertips are going to grab the floor. It's okay to grab your legs or feet. Pulling the left shoulder back. I'm sorry, this is your right shoulder back as you gaze around to the right. Don't let your left shoulder lead either. It's still back so that we're vertical and spiraling through each vertebrae from the tailbone to the skull. Sometimes we think about our back just being in our back, but it goes all the way through the neck. Lift up that right arm and bend your body over the left side. Big deep breaths. Inhale up. Back to the twist. Come center. Interlace those fingers and we're going to press and curve the body. Opening up between the shoulder blades. Pulling one hand back and the other. And flip those hands and pull them the other way. Good. Circling out the hands. I'm going to bring my belly button to my spine. So instead of relaxing the belly out or pushing it out, sometimes we push outwards with our belly muscles while we're trying to do effort. I would like you to practice pressing slightly in. It doesn't mean it has to be locked tight all the time. It's an activation of that belly lock or transversus abdominis muscles, yes. In Pilates, we call it the Pilates scoop. In dance, we call it pulling up because you're also thinking about your root area or your pelvic floor pulling up and in. And in yoga, they call it belly lock, or root lock is when you pull up the pelvic floor, and belly lock is when you compress the belly slightly. And it shouldn't be rock hard. It's just engagement, like 30 to 70% engagement, so that we're protecting the lower spine as we ask our spine to do things. Yeah. And you can overdo it in yoga and be too tight in the abs, but honestly, it's not very common that most of us are doing that. Yes. All right, tummies are in. Bending back. I'm going to check that chat in a second. If it is urgent, please send a couple more chats and I will get up. Slow motion, sliding back. Keep drawing that belly in as you sink to the floor. One more stretch. Scoop up. Grab behind the knees for Navasana. Good, bend those knees. And we're gonna switch positions. We're gonna come on to our crouched position. So for this initial crouch position, I'm gonna think about my heels being right underneath the joints of each individual leg, right? So I'm not wider than my hips. I want my heels under my hips. In this position here, all I'm doing right now is just letting my heels drop backwards, and that stretches my arches and my calves. Yeah, so just enjoy that sensation. And maybe open up your back, let your arms slide forward. And we're gonna remind ourselves of those hand positions we practiced yesterday. So pointer fingers forward. And then elbows gonna wrap in and take a little weight there. And I'm gonna roll forward on my toes. And now I'm really stretching out the toes and the balls of the feet. So maybe I'll turn a little bit this way, yes. So really letting the balls balls of the feet stretch out. Taking a little weight in the hands and pushing back again. And testing that arm position again. Shoulders down, elbows back. And you guys don't need to twist. I'm just turning so that you guys get some different views of this position. Nice and easy. Opening up those toes. We so often forget to stretch and care for our toes and feet and just treat them like they're one, I don't know, solid piece of wood down there, but actually our feet and toes have so many little bones and muscles and a really intricate experience down there. And they can get quite stiff and sore when we don't love them. Rolling on up, my goodness. Apparently it's shedding season, huh, young man? Yeah? Are you ready for some sun salutations? Yes? Okay. All right, here we go, sun salutations. Big breath in. Inhaling up, forward fold. We're going to let our hands sweep back to our hips. Roll the shoulders back. And hold our shoulders back and together while we're reaching to the back of the room. Yeah, so back and together, reach. Lifting up through that belly lock as we do. And soften the knees and roll on down. And we're going to step our left foot back. Now let's step our right foot back. Right foot back. Right foot back. And our hands should be on either side of the heel for this position. If you're too far forward with your hands, you're gonna feel like you're stuck up here and you can't get to the floor, yeah? So hands by the heel so that you can step quite far back and yield those hips to the ground. And we'll go through our 4 directions of the yogic lunge here. Forward is the front knee is going forward. Also your spine and skull. Backwards is your back heel reaches for the back room. So when we're talking about attenuation or radiating, we're radiating front through the front knee and back through the back heel. Up is your belly lock. So we're lifting through our belly. Also, we're lifting that back thigh if possible. That will straighten the leg one day. And down is your hips yielding to the floor. Phew. Go ahead and scooch in if you got too big to rise up. Swoop up those arms, my friend, in your high lunge. Reviewing those 4 corners. Front knee forward, back leg back. Belly is lifted up, yielding down. Find your breath. On your next exhale, we're going to swoop down. Hands to either side of the foot. Lift your left foot back. Step back to your plank. Every single time we come to a plank, my friends, put those knees down if you're not sure. If you're like, I'm not sure if I can hold that plank, maybe. I'd much rather you get the benefit of abs engaged and hips in line between your shoulders and knee rather than being booty up and not getting the full effect of the plank, yeah? So listen to your body, not your ego, I guess. We're going to lower down through chaturanga, elbows touch the ribs. Inhale, lifting up through the body. Abs are engaged, shoulders are down. Slow motion back down to the floor. Lift your core in. And anytime we go to downward dog, you can choose to replace that with your child's pose instead. So if you're going to go to child's pose, you're going to press up and back. And if you're going to go to downward dog, abs in first, shoulders back, press up, and then straighten those legs. See if you can drop your heart to your hands. Who knew I'd be doing partner yoga today, huh? Uh-oh, he's slipping. I'm feeling a little scared about these unclipped claws. Good job. Oh, good boy. Lift your right leg up and tuck it through. We're going to swoop it back again. And come back down to child's pose to meet our friends who didn't go up today. And rest in child's pose. Now in child's pose, if like me, you feel like there's a lot of tension or meat between you and the floor of your hips, you can actually push back with your hands to get your hips down to your heels and get that lower back to open. And so sometimes you choose to push into your child's pose, and sometimes we're thinking about opening the chest more and just let your heart fall past your armpits and rest your forehead on the floor. And let gravity take over. Go ahead and prepare again. So we're tucking the toes, and this time we're going to take left leg up. Hey, I'm going to put you up, young man. Left leg's coming up, and we'll pendulum. Exhale, tuck it underneath. Inhale, swoop it back. Exhale, tuck it in underneath. Think about that belly lock, protecting your back. Remember, bus stop here. You're going to do the right lift of the leg for your body, keeping your core strong and your shoulders back. And go ahead and step that left leg through. Square those hips before you rise up. We're going to take our palms together here. We're going to link our pinky fingers and ring fingers and rise up. Lifting up through that vertical pelvis, yielding the shoulders down, driving the right hip forward, lifting the heart skyward. Finding your breath. And open those arms. And stepping together. Nice deep forward fold. Inhale, floating halfway. Exhale, softening down. And rolling up. Big breath. I'm going to turn my body, but you don't need to. We're going to go right on ahead into the right leg back version, starting with an open heart arch. Remember, we're trying to lift up here so our hips are still over those feet, but our rib cage is tilted. Inhale, shoulder girdle right over those hips. And exhale, soften your knees whenever you need to come through, flat back to the floor. Inhale. Nice long arch, bellies are in, nice flat back. Exhale down. Right leg back. Forward and back. Finding your nice low deep lunge before we come up. Yielding those hips down. Good, belly's up, thighs up, pressing forward and back, rising up, nice parallel arms, yield the shoulder, engage the core to get a vertical pelvis, and breathe. Good, reach long to come down to the floor. Chaturanga Vinyasa, that means flow through Chaturanga. So plank or modified plank, heart comes down, elbows are back, passing through Chaturanga, which is halfway here. Down you go. Shoulders back, bellies and legs together. Exhale brings you down out of your cobra. And up to your downward dog or your child's pose, your choice. I'm gonna roll my shoulders here because I really want them to release and allow my head and skull to drop forward. So I want to have the feeling that my shoulders are going backwards towards my hips and my spine is falling down towards those thumbs as my elbows are wrapped towards each other. All right, so we're working the right leg here, but we're gonna have left leg come up and through first. Let's find that grip. Good, and swoop it back. Take it down. Folks who are on the floor for child's pose, if you want to join us now for pendulums with your leg, right leg pendulums. Inhale, the leg lifts. Exhale, the leg comes down to the other leg. Inhale as you tuck and curl your body forward, knee to nose. One more. And the next one will bring you through. Good, finding your high lunge, hips are squared, knee is over the ankle, knee and toe are both in the same direction. I'm gonna interlace ring finger and pinky. I'm gonna lift up so that I can really square those hips and then stretch the back heel back. Drop the shoulders, lift the heart. Opening the back hip socket, back leg hip open as I press that hip forward. Abs engaged. And reach it forward, long body and torso to press together. Inhale up to flat back. Soft legs are fine, so your knees don't have to be straight for flat back at all. Exhale, curve the spine. Inhale, come on back up. Pause for a second, letting your shoulders drop. All right, we're gonna move through our next version of this flow, adding a couple of twists with our shoulder girdle. Yeah, so when I say that, just to clarify, I'm talking about the diamond shape that is made up of your collarbones. So take a moment just to touch those collarbones, walk them out. They come out to the tip of where your arm bone hangs off. That's your acromion process, yeah? So collarbone out here, and then on the back side of your body, your shoulder blades, which are each like a big triangle shape. Now you can probably feel the point of the shoulder blade if you wiggle your arm around. On there, there's a ridge on the top of that triangle, a ridge. And that ridge you can feel with your hands coming from the shoulder back towards the spine. So when we have nice uplifted vertical posture, that shoulder girdle sits comfortably right on top of the rib cage. It sits right on top here. When we're slouching, however, then the whole diamond slides forward, and it means that all the weight of your arms and chest are going to be hanging off of those back and trapezius muscles, and that makes it a lot more work than it needs to be. So if you can imagine looking over the front of me here, and here is the diamond shape, yeah, the shoulder girdle. If I'm in a nice, healthy, upright posture, that shoulder girdle is going to be balanced on top of my rib cage. When I'm slouching, it slides forward, and that means the weight of my head and my arms doing whatever they're doing are mostly being supported by our upper trapezius. And guess what hurts when we're stressed out? That guy. Ugh. So in order to get that a little bit less exhausted, we're going to think about using our muscles along the spine here and underneath to grab the shoulder blades and pull them down and back so that we can balance. And that also means we have to loosen up the front here, right? So pectoralis major and minor, those all get shortened when they're in that slouched position, and we need them to be more flexible so they're long and open so that it's easy for our shoulder girdle to rest here, as opposed to feeling like you have to fight to pull it back, which it does feel that way when we're building our strength initially. So we're going to work our back to keep that shoulder girdle balanced as we move, as opposed to using our habitual tight front muscles to move and twist in this. So I'm going to say a lot of like roll your shoulder back. Let's do some shoulder rolls. We're going to put this to use in some of our poses, yeah? And try doing a shoulder roll with your arms up in the air. You heard me say in my downward dog, I was doing a shoulder roll. So I can take my elbows and rotate them forward, just like I'm doing a downward dog. I can roll my shoulders here. I can take my arms out to the side and roll my shoulders back there. Oh, yeah? Any position you can do that shoulder roll. And that'll help you get your shoulder girdle back on top of your body. All right, so we're gonna go through our sun salutation, this time with a little twisting, a little extra cat hair, apparently. Are you shedding or what, man? And we'll add some shoulder girdle focus. Big breath. Shoulder girdle back. Take your hands to your sacrum this time and push those hips forward, lifting up through your abdomen, and pull the shoulders and elbows back, down, and together. My chin is slightly touched, so the back of my neck is long. So I'm reaching as though someone's pulling my ears back, like I'm gonna get elf ears. Yeah, elf ears. Good, chin to chest rolls you up. Keep those shoulders back as your arms rise. Reaching down, pass through forward fold. Shoulders engaged back, shoulder girdle engaged. I'm feeling a squeeze in my back up here to keep myself from slouching forward. And soften back, left leg's gonna step back. And we're gonna rise right up. And we're gonna keep those shoulders dropped down, even as we pass through this motion. I like to imagine I'm scooping up cool water and dripping it over my head and back. One more time. Shoulders are soft. And we're going to take our arms down to either side of your heel or to your bricks. Draw back that foot. Rotate those elbows back, heart forward. Everybody's knees down today. I'd like you to please press your booty way up in the air. Walk your palms forward and open your heart for a second. And compress your shoulders wide and down. Opening your armpits and your chest. You could put your chin on the floor here. I'm just pulling my chin in and hovering. From there, I'm going to pull my hips back with my core to child's pose. And if I push with my hands, then I get a nice rounded, long, open back. and your lower back curve. I want to see if we can hold that as we move into our modified plank. So I'm going to keep that curled lower abdomen. I'm going to engage my abdominal wall and curve forward. Yeah, like a Halloween cat. And then I'm going to keep that curve in the pelvis, roll my shoulders back, and bring my heart past my fingertips. Lots of abdominal strength here. Slowly lower down through chaturanga. Heart past the fingertips if you can. Good. Rest at the bottom. Big breath in. Big exhale. Shoulders back. Engage the core again. Pressing up. Shoulders back. Shoulder girdle back through your cobra. And lower down. Legs together. We're going to press up either to downward dog or to your child's pose, your choice. Engaging that core first, shoulders back. Tuck your toes if you're going up to downward dog, and press back to downward dog. Big deep breaths. Let your skull fall towards your thumbs. Wrap those elbows down and back. Let your shoulders slide. The left leg's going to float up in the air. And this time we're going to bend our left leg and open the hips up. So I'm trying to get my left hip on top of my right. Extend if you like. Now before we come all the way down, bring those hips back square in line. So if we look down in space, our two legs should line up on the inside. And we're going to go ahead, step through. Before we come all the way up, and you could have a brick here underneath your hand if you have a brick, we're going to zip up like you're zipping up a boot here. Knee and second toe, same direction forward. Zip up, rotate your rib cage, and reach up in the air. So feel that shoulder girdle pull down your back. We don't want to have our shoulders rolled forward here. So if you're not sure, roll those shoulders back a couple times. Find your breath. Drop your pinky to your tailbone. Both hands to the floor. And step together. Inhale up to flat back, shoulder girdle back. Exhale, drop down. Roll on up. Feel that heart rate. We're going to big breath in. We're going to take our arms open. This time, if they're sweaty, dust them off. We're going to grab our hands behind. Slide your thumbs down towards your heels. But don't just dump out that rib cage, yeah? We're going to lift in the belly lock and curl to at least vertical pelvis. And drop our thumbs down behind ourselves. Chin tucked. Make yourself at least 1.5 chins here. And try to breathe. It's really hard to breathe here. Release those hands, float up to the sky. Find a little lift onto the balls of your feet by squeezing your body together to the center line. Let those heels come down as you lengthen your skull forward through your forward fold. Soft knees are fine. Inhale. Flat back. Exhale down to the floor. And just rest for a second. Hold the opposite arms. Allow the weight of your arms to open up your back. Three more breaths here before we move on. And then we're going to take our hands to the floor and step back with your right leg. And we're going to scoop up that cool water, drip it over our face and hands, letting our shoulders stay down. Feel yourself pass through vertical pelvis if you can. And down you go. Curve that body back to child's pose. Bring the hips back up in the air. Press your heart down to the floor, gazing forward. This is your heart opening pose. Tailbones up, gaze is out, shoulders are back. Come on back. Press into your child's pose. And I know some folks out there have had some shoulder injuries. We're going to curl up to our flat back. And before we move on, we're going to do cat-cow a couple times. So cat, like a Halloween cat arching its back. And cow, drop our ribs and belly down. Yeah. So for those of you with shoulder issues, sometimes there's stuff, right, that goes on, like an injury that hasn't quite healed properly. So if you need to back off on some of these arms things, it's okay to take breaks, to put your knees down, to come to your elbows, whatever helps first. You're gonna roll back, everybody. Remember, when our shoulder girdle is forward, that compresses this little gap here where all of our muscles and nerves attach. And that's what they mean by rotator cuff injuries. So lots of nerve pinches happen right here in this place. And the more we can learn to keep that shoulder girdle open and back, the more space there is to avoid those injuries. Yeah, so pulling back your shoulders, rotating those elbows in, pointer fingers up. Shoulders back. Elbows in, pointer fingers up. Yeah? Beep. So when we were rising up onto our downward dog again, I'm going to say rotate those elbows in. Sometimes it helps to imagine that you're grabbing a brick with your elbows. Here we go. If you're coming up for the wild and wacky legged dog, here we go. Squeezing those elbows towards a brick. My hands are the width of my shoulders apart. Coming into my downward dog. Lifting up your right leg, opening the hips and bending the knee. Try to keep your weight even on both shoulders if you can. Find the breath. Make sure that standing leg, knee, and toe are still pointing in the same direction, even though you're really opening that hip. Invitation to open the leg. And this all might be very low to the ground, right? So bust step A here with an open hip and knee. It might be all the way down here. But that's groovy. Bust up B, C, Q. Go ahead and step it through. Coming up. We're going to take your hand down. Shoulders are back. Squared hips. I'm going to zip up that thigh. So I'm thinking about this hand that's on the floor or on a brick. I'm going to think about taking this armpit towards the leg. So I'm trying to wrap the spine and shoulders back. And reach on up. Yes. I'm going to yield my hips a little lower if I can. Check my shoulder girdle is still nice and long behind me. Still wrapping this elbow that has weight. 2 more breaths. Good. Taking it down. Stepping it together. and hang. Let your knees bend a little bit so your thighs can rest, or your ribs can rest on your thigh. And let the weight of your arms and your skull make space in that upper and middle back. Give yourself permission to let go. Big breath. When you're ready, release those arms. Find an extended flat back and come on down. Press on up to the sky. Bringing your hands to namaste. Feel your shoulder girdle nice. Roll back. Let your eyes close and feel the sensation of your feet on the floor. Notice if there's more weight on your right or your left. Happen to be standing a little more on my right today, so I'm going to spread that evenly. Notice if your weight is all the way back in your heels, and spread that weight evenly front to back. And you do that by gently shifting your center forward. Notice how much information about your balance is coming internally from the sensations of your body. Quite a metaphor, right? With our eyes closed, we can feel and perceive so much more than we often give ourselves permission to notice. Let those hands unwind. All right, we're going to go to the floor so that we can move towards our special requests today, which are a little bit more neck release and a little bit more time for Shavasana. So we're going to review our intro to the arm balance that we did last time. Let's do a check-in. And while we do that, if you want to turn, if your mat has been, vertical to the screen and you want to turn it sideways, go ahead and rotate your mat. We'll do a check-in here. Let me know. How does your shoulder girdle feel? Oh, glad. I'm glad the diamond tip helped. Yeah. I'm seeing some feedback about the balance in that last bit being a bit challenging, and that is to be expected for sure. So that was a more challenging balance, and the reason why is because we are moving more slowly than we usually do. I think folks are often a little surprised that slower is harder. But it sure is. All right, let's switch gears a little bit here. We're going to open up. Good, good. Oh, yay. All right, good. I'm seeing you guys are feeling good about opening up those shoulders. And how about you, Biscotti? You open your shoulders up? Okay. All right, so we're going to come down to the floor here. I'm going to turn myself a little bit sideways. And I would like you to bend your knees and just slouch forward for a second here. You can still keep those shoulders back if you want to be proper. And rocking gently side to side on your hips. Yeah. So almost like I'm going, in fact, do go for a walk with your pelvis here. one hip back, lifting it up here. And you can feel there are some muscles in your glutes. If you're feeling a bit tight, you can kind of massage your butt against the floor. Nothing wrong with that, that's for sure. Really satisfying to open up those external rotators. And then when you're ready, we're gonna walk until we feel those sits bones. Excuse me, sir. We're gonna walk until we feel those sits bones pointed down into the floor. And if you're feeling super tight in your hamstrings, you're going to keep those legs quite bent the whole time. So for any of these middle flexibility experiences, we want to keep our legs bent and our knees straight up. And there's a big temptation to try and straighten those legs or to let the knees fall in so that we can get our bodies a little bit more up. Like if you're stuck back here and you want to go, oh, right? Oh, rolling in. But the way to get these guys to open up is to keep the turned out position. Otherwise, we end up stretching different muscles. So feel free to hold those knees back. In fact, let's do that for a second. Just take those shoulders, roll them back several times, and then pull them down and press with the back of your arms back. So it's like we're doing the horseman's pose, but we're seated instead of standing. So I'm pressing back my arms with the strength of my upper back underneath those shoulder blades. Good, and from there, I'm going to bring my back forward. And I'm even going to place my hands on the floor, and the back of my arms are still pressing into my legs. So as you get more flexible, your legs start to push back and extend outward, but the bus stops all include knee up. So if you're starting out, it's going to be a bit more narrow, knees are still all the way up. You're getting a little more flexible, the heels might go out a little bit more. All those places are fine as long as your knees don't roll in. And I like to hold my arms right underneath. I'm sort of just above the knee here with the back of the arm to keep that rolled out. Remember, your body is working on its own journey. It is not going to look the same as anyone else's body, and it does not need to. Your body has a path, and that path is valid and real and deserves respect and honor. 2 more breaths in your version of the middle stretch, the wide angle forward fold. If you're feeling like you want to drop the head, you can make 2 fists, put them on top of each other, and put your forehead right on top of that little fist pillow. Lovely. Press up. Nice and easy. And we're going to take those knees. We're going to bring your feet together. Instead of Baddha Konasana, grabbing the ankles and dropping forward, we're going to do the tortoise pose. We're going to slide our hands underneath the shins and let those shins drop. Let the thighs drop, and I'm going to drop my head down as well. And just imagine my back is, I'm imagining it's round and hollow like a tortoise shell. Big deep breaths here. Pulling my belly button to the spine. I'm really pulling that lower back into a big curve. Big breath in, and then I'm going to place my hands even more firmly into the earth, pull my shoulders back, and sneak my head out of my tortoise shell. Make a little tortoise face. If you like, I like to make a tortoise face here. Shoulders back as much as you can. And release. Soften again. Belly button pulls your arms free. Lovely. We're going to take your heel directly into your center here. And it can be more or less forward as long as we're not allowing ourselves to twist the hips towards the pigeon pose, right? We want to be nice and square for this next one. Lifting up. Again, you can help keep this knee pointing up to the sky with your arm and shoulders down. Big breath in and leaning over the center. I'm going to turn to the side a little bit. Yeah, so I'm supporting the long leg open, coming to the center here. And then I'm going to come right back up out of that without staying too much. Draw that knee even closer. So this will be, let's switch sides and do the other side, and then we'll make sure we're all on the same side. So feeling the difference between letting our hips rock towards one side. We want square hips. Slightly bent knee here is fine. We're going to fold over one leg, trying to keep our heel lined up with our spine here. Come right back up. All right, now we're going to make sure we're all on the same side here. So let's pull your, I guess he's busy there making muffins. Let's pull your left leg in for this next one. We're going to put that foot on the floor, wherever you can get it, foot on the floor. Your right leg is just hanging out here wherever you are. And even when I'm pulled in this way, I can feel my back is falling backwards. So I'm going to try and hook my hand underneath your left foot, pull my shoulder blades back, lift up through my torso, and rock back, holding that leg. And so it's like a happy baby pose on one side. I'm just finding some balance here. And I'm going to bring it back down. And excuse me, sir, but I need that leg now. So we're going to bring your other leg in, and that means your left leg can do whatever it wants to for a moment. And I'm going to lift up that right and try and sit upright through my torso with a happy baby pose there. And then remember earlier we did that push back from the back. That's going to apply here too. Yeah? Lovely. All right. One more time. Now I'm not trying to get all the way up on my hip bones here. This time I'm just opening to stretch that hamstring. And switch. And see if you're starting to feel opened up, you can lift your back up onto those sits bones. And if not, that's fine. Let the leg be where it feels to you. All right. Now we're going to take those arms and almost like we're rowing a boat, activating our back to pull that shoulder girdle up. We're going to reach through and grab somewhere on our legs. Could be feet would be bust up C. A is going to be the thighs. B is the calves, ankles, and feet. Okay, so I'm going to try and balance on my buns. And you can see how when I get there, my shoulder girdle is definitely rolled forward. So I'm going to draw my belly button into my spine and roll that shoulder girdle back, activating my upper back to see if I can balance in happy baby pose or even extend into a balanced wide angle. And opening my legs helps me stay up, I think, because it's engaging the hip bones or the hip muscles and glutes. And fall on down. Lovely, lovely. Take a breath. And go ahead one last time, finding that balance. So grabbing bust up A looks like this. Whee. Yeah. B, C, D. wanting to get my shoulder girdle engaged down the spine. And let your toes come back to the floor. And we're going to roll down on our backs. Don't get too excited. I'm going to have you sit up one more time. I know sometimes everybody's like, it's now. We're almost there. But before we move on, I'd like you to please rock cat-cow style through your pelvis and engage that pelvis and roll up to bridge. Nice and gentle. This does not need to be big today, but we just did a lot engaging our hip flexors. So let's do some counter pose. Roll on down. Arch the back, curve the back, and press. And as you're up here in your bridge pose, feel how your chin comes down to your throat. The back of the neck is long. And we're going to roll back down. All right. Let's roll on to our sides, actually. And I'd like you to get your shoulders in line with your hips. And we're going to place one hand right on top of the other here. So our arms are straight out from our bodies, right in front of our shoulders. And I'm going to let my head really just rest on the floor. If you're feeling like it's hard to balance your knees right on top of each other, adjust those thighs forward. So you have one knee on top of the other, vertical pelvis. And we're going to take a big breath in and a big exhale. Just noticing how the neck feels. On your next breath in, we're going to reach your top arm upwards. And softly take it back down to the other hand. And this time we're going to leave it there, radiating towards the sky. And exhale it back down. Inhale brings one hand to the sky. And exhale this time lets your arm drop behind your shoulder. Big breath in. Allowing your shoulder to open up. Radiate that arm behind you, but we haven't yet released the rib cage. So we're really just letting the weight of the arm open our pectoralis muscles and our front deltoid. And if you like, you can pan that arm up, sort of to a high V, and pan it down. Just a slow exploration of what it means to really open the collarbone, the humerus or arm bone, letting it open back. And then go ahead when you're ready, reaching straight back behind your shoulder. We're going to inhale that arm back up and exhale it back to close at home again. This time we're going to inhale your top arm up. Let it float right above your heart, making space between the shoulder and the elbow and even all the joints of the hand. Just like someone is gently drawing your middle finger up into the clouds. And then we're going to reach that palm back and let your shoulders follow the hand, allowing your spine to twist and your chin and neck and head to all gaze behind yourself. Gently pressing that shoulder down into the earth. Feel your spine lengthen. Radiating your skull away from your tailbone and your two fingertip sets away from each other so that hand behind you is stretching actively away from the hand in front. 2 more deep breaths. When you're ready, inhale the arm up. Let that arm stretch to the sky to bring your body up. And exhale it back down on the other hand. Take a breath where you started. And then zipper your hand across your body and bring your knees to your chest. Supine child's pose. We're going to interlace our fingers or grab the knees. Just bring those thighs together and press them towards your rib cage. Relax your chest as much as you can for the next breath and a half. And then allow the weight of your knees to roll you to the other side. Starting with one hand forward and the other on top. We'll inhale up. The other side. Feeling that space as you radiate your fingertips to the sky and give your neck permission to release down to the earth. And exhale, letting your palms come back together. Inhaling to float back up. And leaving your ribs where they are, stretching the palm back behind you. Allowing your deltoid to elongate, pectoralis major and minor. Notice whether that trapezius is still squeezing your shoulder up towards your earlobe. Instead, slide the shoulder blade down towards the waist. Let there be space between your ear and that shoulder as you start to slowly pan the arm, a low diagonal to a high diagonal. Radiating and stretching that arm out, feeling the space you're making between your arm and shoulder, in the joint of your elbow, through the joints of your wrist, knuckles and fingers. Space for all the miraculous movement on the microscopic levels that your body does naturally And letting that arm relocate to go straight behind you, and then inhale, reaching out until that arm rises up above the shoulder and out and forward to meet its friend. Breath here at home. Giving your neck and head permission to just flop on the floor. Just release and be where they are. And you find your next inhale, lifting up that hand to the sky, feeling the lengthening of the spine and the arm, and exhaling the arm and shoulder behind you, reaching the hand back away from the opposite hand until your chest begins to open and your skull turns to spiral the spine in the direction that your hand has gone. Chin revolving behind yourself. Spine spiraling like a narwhal horn. Allow your body to release and elongate. Encouraging your nose and chin to travel. Turning one hand to the other in the reflective pose. And when you're ready, find your way to your Shavasana. And if your back is feeling tired, you can windshield wiper those thighs gently, tucking your shoulder blades back behind you, experiencing an open pectoralis major and minor as you lay in Shavasana, allowing your breath to slow down. As you relax your body to your meditation this afternoon, begin breathing into your skull, feeling the air in your sinuses, allowing it to relax your body and feel the weight of your neck and your jaw dropping back to the floor. As your breath slows down into your chest, allow your ribs to slide down towards your hip bones and then off the sides of your body, melting down into the floor.
Like wibbly wobbly, it's a bit, but it looks beautiful. This person.
Oh, so you just dropped something.
Okay.
What did I drop?
A condom. Oh no.
Well, I can't see.
Definitely key and bird love call. Oh.
Allowing your hips to soften, imagining them spreading like an opening flower. Breathing in and exhaling, allowing your thighs to soften and ease into the earth. Just imagining that flesh settling down into gravity. Allowing your calves to spread out onto your mat. Feeling your shoulders and elbows softly melting downwards. Breathing into your palms. Imagine those hands softly opening like flower blooms. And letting those petals fall away into the floor. Spacious release between the joints of your hands. Breathing into the whole length of your body, from your skull through your neck, shoulders, extending out through the arms and fingertips, down through the torso, past the hips and the knees, and all the way down to the ankles, the bones of your feet and toes, space and air, and softness. One more big deep breath. And release. Allowing yourself permission to just be. Just be soft. Just be still. Use your leg to roll into your reflective